Alright, howdy y'all, Pepper here, back after a long break from recording. Let's see what game we're gonna play. The Fall of Lazarus. I actually already played that one. As Us Lovely Corpses. Boy, that sounds like a visual novel in HIO. Us Lovely Corpses. Install it, check out what it is. Is a girl with a curse. A bizarre and incredibly powerful monster has taken a liking to her and is now obsessed with kidnapping her. Every so often, it appears, takes over the Flores household, and holds her hostage in the attic. To be frank, it's all gotten a little old. Oh, okay. So yeah, short, surreal, horror, romance, visual novel about helping a friend. Okay. Cool beans. I'll be back in, I guess, 40 seconds to play this game. See you soon. Alright, I'm back. Let's go ahead and start this up. This game contains mature and intense themes. It is not recommended for players under 16 or those who are easily disturbed. An in-depth list of content warnings is available. Okay, let's see what the content warnings is. Animal death, body horror, blood, homophobia, self-harm, suicide, self-hatred, violence. I'm probably okay with that right now. The monster knows you're here and it will do its best to make you leave. As such, the game will occasionally do startling and unexpected things. Are you prepared? Sure. Is the game prepared? It feels like maybe it crashed on me, which would be unfortunate. Oh, there we go. As far as anyone could tell, the Flores family had not committed any mortal sin. Ooh. No fairy complained of improper etiquette. No witch reported anything missing from the garden. No one had been insulted, injured, or otherwise aggrieved. But that didn't stop a monster from showing up for their daughter one day. It was quiet, painless, and swift. The monster left nothing but a mark on the girl and a promise to hang over her head. I will return for you one day, little miss. I will not take your life, nor will I harm your body. Ooh. But I will never leave you. Ooh, it got loud there. That's thunder. Hope it doesn't scare my dogs. Do I click again? Dang, I got here just in time. It's really starting to come down hard. As I do my best to outrun the splatter of raindrops on the pavement, the familiar shock of pink walls emerges from behind the treetops. It feels a bit like being greeted by a friend. The Flores house is an old money house. I mean, it's clearly a money house, at least. Anyone could puzzle out that a place this size has to come with a serious price tag. It's really classy, too, with a porch and pillars and everything. Victorian, I think. Gothic revival? Look, I'm a witch, not a real estate agent. My point is, it's a really nice house. Even with all the creepy death vines and the monster in the attic. Well, let's clock in. Knock, knock, knock. The Flores family at least has 2 housekeepers employed, but they've got a bad record vis-a-vis keeping them around for too long. As such, it's not a surprise to see an unfamiliar face open the door. Betty. Oh, thank God. You're the DeRosa girl, right? The assistant? They told me about you. Where's the witch? Well, you're looking at her. The witch that I work with, she's my grandma, and she's preoccupied with other businesses today. Business. So this is my first solo job. I don't know which one is Betty. I'm assuming that one over there is Betty. And that's Alex. The housekeeper's eye casually twitches. You're the witch? How old are you? 18? 19? Is that a problem? No, not at all. It's completely fine. Why on earth should I be worried? Just because I woke up to a real-life horror movie this morning? Just because half the house has been taken over by these horrible things? Just because I've been working in this house for a week and out of nowhere, a literal monster appeared and abducted my employer's daughter. And God knows what's happening to her, and God knows what'll happen to me. But no, it's fine. Why not send a child to help us? A child on her first solo job. Sure, why not? Wouldn't want to break the streak we've got going on today. After all, I just love suddenly being shunted to nightmare worlds where logic is gone and murderous vines have replaced it all. I love hearing my superior respond to a rose whispered to me about dead animals with, "Oh, that's normal." I love terror. I love being in hell. I can't wait for Satan to jump up my ass and tap dance. I swear to whatever God might still be up there, if one more thing happens in this room, I'm going to... Betty? Andrea puts a hand on the woman's shoulder, and with an instant she quiets. She's quiet and pale. Take a deep breath. A monster. A literal monster. I thought everyone was being sarcastic. I know, hon. Why don't you go sit down for a little while? This is just supposed to be extra money for the boat. Betty staggers like a fawn, overturning her by chair. After a moment, she drops onto it bonelessly. I hear a faint noise like the boat drift down the hall. Hey, sorry about that. All that. Hey, don't sweat it. I love being casually insulted in my face. I love when people don't take me seriously because of my age. It's super great. Be nice. She's a newbie. Thought all the talk about the Flores monster was just a joke, huh? She's not the first. Andrea is one of the housekeeper who's stuck around the Flores family the longest, so all this is old hat to her. She's probably more annoyed by Betty's theatrics than the monster kidnapping her ward, but she's also too soft-hearted to tell the other woman to get a grip. I guess in a way, we're co-workers, but more than anything, we're friends. So, how have you been? Oh, you know, the usual. Exhausted. Aren't we all? So, we looking at a typical case? Vines have taken over the attic and the second floor completely. The most affected areas were all the usual ones. Office, bedroom, reading room, her bedroom too. The Mr. and the Mrs.? Gone since Monday. They're on a trip to South Padre. We haven't, actually told them yet. And Marisol and you-know-who, they're in the usual place? Yeah. Righto. Well, if that's everything, I think I'll get to work. No point in putting it off any longer. You're sure you'll be okay on your own? Andrea, remember when I said literally 2 minutes ago about people not taking me seriously? Alex, it's not about your age. It'll be your first time doing this alone, and you know how those roses can get. You know how the monster can get. It's, yeah, a little nerve-wracking. But Marisol is my friend. And who's gonna help her if not me? I mean, there are other witches in the area. No. I want to do this. For every princess captured by a ferocious beast, there's gotta be a dashing knight, you know? Dashing knight? What happened to being a witch? I'm a woman of many talents. There's a scream. I'm not gonna read that one. Under the door. Bum bum bum. We follow her pointing finger to the far end of the hall, at the door that leads to the staircase. The hallway is the unofficial safe zone of the house. The Roses never come in here. At least me and Layla has always arrived before they started invading. But now, it slinks and twitches its way across the floor. The petals begin to fan out. Do something! Stay back. With a quick flap of latches, I open my briefcase. Leela's trimmers fit comfortably in the palm of my hand. Alright, let's... And abruptly, it's face to face with me. And the rose, as roses tend to do, opens its mouth. Another day, another corpse waiting to happen. You've come here so many times, swaggering in the face of death. Should one applaud your bravado? Should one applaud your bravado or your brainlessness? For your information. But now you walk in here alone, a girl turned a young lady before all our eyes. Surely you'll know it'll only get harder on from here on out. This is your warning. You should just leave this place and never look back. No. I mean, I'm not leaving until I help Marisol, and not until I get rid of you. What? That's it? You don't want to do more of this? I thought you loved your formula. Why do you want to suddenly skip all the foreplay? Alex. I pause. Why is she talking through the rose? Did it eat her? No, it's letting her talk. It does this all the time. Marisol, listen, just hanging tight. I'll be heading up there pretty soon. Alejandra, listen to me. Do not come up here. Tell Andrea that she and the other one are fired. I want you all to get out of this house right now and never come back. Mari, I don't know why it's making you say this, but it's not making me say anything, Alex. I'm telling you, of my own free will, to go. Marisol, you know I have to. No, you don't. I'm telling you. I'm giving you permission to leave. Do you really think I'm just going to let you die? The hall is silent. Marisol, you know what will happen if it stays too long. Leaving you like that is just as good as killing you. The petals off the rose gently retract and expand. It almost looks like a beating heart. Fine by me. Oh no. Snick. Barely takes a flick of my wrist to drop the tendril on the floor. The rose's teeth are still now, hidden under its petals. I lift it up gently and place it in my briefcase. The rest of the vine is already dissolving into ash. The door opens without resistance, and the living room, the kitchen. I can see a couple of wayward vines have started to creep in, but none with roses. They'll dissolve on their own once the monster leaves. I have bigger problems to worry about upstairs. Holler if you need anything. For God's sake, be careful. The stairs creak familiarly under my feet. You should have listened to her. The voice is familiar, too. It never stops being unnerving hearing it come out of multiple throats. What is it about you and the word no, little witch? You realize you don't have your grandmother's shadow to hide in anymore, don't you? That was probably one of the kindness... No, that was probably the one kindness that girl has ever given you, and you threw it away. You think that's the only time Marisol's been nice to me? For a guy who's been bugging a girl who her entire life, you don't know a damn thing about her. The voice goes silent a moment. You probably think that sassing it would just be asking for trouble, but believe it or not, it helps. There won't be anything standing between us when you come to the attic. My thorns will open your pretty skin and leave you nothing but a heap of twitching flesh. You'll feel the agony of 1,000 deaths before you die. Cool. Hey, hold still. I clip a rose as I ascend the staircase, catching each one and depositing them into my briefcase. But the last one makes me pause at the top of the staircase. What's this you've got in your teeth? It's a page of notebook paper, wrinkled and crisp from age with numerous folding. It's familiar. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, geez, where'd you find this? My nervous handwriting, a ghost of a hand scribbling in a frantic attempt to keep up with my grandmother's instructions. My frankly embarrassing attempt at spelling lavender. When I was 13, I thought confronting Marifol's mother would be my greatest accomplishment as a witch. I wasn't actually sure we'd make it back alive despite Leela's constant reassurances. Monster. Not mother. Marisol's monster. Blah. Whatever. I wonder what my younger self would think of me now, having climbed these stairs more times than I can count. My greatest accomplishment, now a regular house visit. You don't have that woman with you anymore. I wouldn't be sporting if I didn't allow you... Oh, it wouldn't be sporting if I didn't allow you some extra help. Awesome. Thanks. I snipped the rose with a little more force than necessary. So the attic, huh? The attic has a pull-down staircase. It's currently covered in vines, but those are actually the least of the worries right now. The hatch has locks, 3 to be precise, and they all look pretty secure. Hey, bucko, where are the keys? It doesn't reply. In 6 years of doing this, it's never once given us the keys when we ask. Somehow it's just become routine, and routine has historically been pretty comforting. But the routine typically follows with the monster explaining where the keys are, a grandiose villain speech, as if we haven't heard it 1,000 times. Today it's silent, not even a chuckle. You're different today. For a monster, you're seriously losing your bite. It says nothing. Leela always said, if there's one thing monsters love, it's their formula. That's why you always come back and hide in the attic with Marisol. And that's why we always go through the same lines. Dastardly fiend, let that poor girl go. Haha, as if I would, you witches are so pathetic. I'll toy with you some more, and let's play a little game if you can find where the 3 keys hidden somewhere on this floor. Something, something, time limit, clues, whatever. But now all of a sudden you're too bored to go through it? Honestly, what's the point of going to save a beautiful princess if we don't get to be a little dramatic about it? You can't save her. Fine, whatever. I need to clean up the roses in the other rooms anyway. I'll play your doofy little game, like always. Do some gardening, like always. I'll be back with the keys before you can say, Citizen Kane. Witch. It's a voice from beyond the attic door. I'll warn you one more time. This is your final chance to turn back. I shrug and start towards the reading room. I follow the vines and the scent of roses. It's a nice smell, but it has a tendency to become cloying the more time passes. Lila used to get headaches sometimes, but weirdly enough, I seem to be able to endure it better than her. My first stop is the reading room. Andrea said it was always one of the most affected places, and sure enough, I see quite a bit of roses. Let's see, roses first, and then we'll get to looking for those keys. It's nice to have a reading room, I think. I always kind of envied Marisol for it, even though I usually only see it when it's been choked with vines. I gently run my finger down one as I look around the room. It's warm to the touch. Alright, who's up first? There's a tall bookcase packed to the brim with books of all kinds. From the topmost shelf sprouts a single red rose. I will just prune it. Snip, snip, snip. I cut it loose. On the shelf right below, the books are slightly askew, as if one of their number is missing. From a gap sprouts a single lavender rose. What was the lavender? Oh man, was I supposed to remember what that fucking shit was? I'll listen first. The witch has come to battle me many times, but this was the first time she brought a partner. The girl with a fluffy head and a permanent smile, no order than my ward. She was frightened to see my face. I could tell that much from my tiny fingers clutching her notebook. Oh, nope. I could tell that much from her tiny fingers clutching her notebook tight. But even as her grin went tight with false bravado, I could see the pride in her gaze, watching her grandmother get to work. And as I retreated, I threw one last glance over my shoulder. My name is Alex, and I'm here to save you. I memorized her face and name, knowing she would one day become my enemy too. I outlined her features in my mind with animosity. And yet somehow, it also felt like fondness. Snip, 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 I cut it loose. Alright, yellow rose. Can I look at history? Rolls back to earlier dialogue. Okay. Return. Friendship, jealousy. Red is anger. I am going to screenshot this. Give me just a second. Oh. How the hell do I go about screenshotting this? I could just Alt-Tab. It's just... Oh, nope. Alt-Enter. Make that not full screen. Boom. New. Boom. Okay, let's just scroll back forward. Am I scrolling the wrong way? I'm scrolling the wrong way. There we go. Okay, now we're back to where we were. Awesome. Okay. Every time I pull this up, it's gonna... That's not great. Oh well. Okay, what color was this one? Oh, it's making me do the choices again. I guess I'll listen to the red one. Pigeon crushed paper thin on the road, wings somehow spared, still spread, straining, slack, dead tendons. They reach for the sun, a pop-up book from hell. Looking at roadkill is like getting a fishhook pushed into my heart, sad in a way I can't put into words. Snip, 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 cut it loose. Lavender is love at first sight. Prune. Yellow is friendship or jealousy. Let's listen to this one. She loved reading. She still loves reading. The beautiful words. The beautiful worlds. It would make her forget just for a little while the curse that hung over her head like a sword. You read so much, said the little witch. Why don't you tell me about the stuff you read? She shook her head, her clumsy tongue faulting, failing, tripping over syllables and second thoughts. It would be a mockery to the lovingly crafted books. Well then, how am I supposed to know why you like them so much? Because they make me forget how much I can't do. They make me forget the person I am in this world. That's so silly, the little witch doubled over in laughter. You can do anything as long as you work hard and believe in yourself. It's hard for me too, but I still had to give it a try. I'm sure you could go to school and be happy and be normal if you just tried a little harder. Because it's that easy. Because she had never, ever once thought of that before. Because if it's so easy for you, I can do it too, even though you're so much better than me, and everyone except you can see it. In that moment, she wished she had never met the little witch. Blue is an impossible dream. There's a stack of books on the floor by the armchair's feet. They seem to be from a series about animals aimed towards younger readers. From the topmost one sprouts a single blue rose. I once read a book about birds. There was a chapter about cuckoos. Cuckoos, the book said, are the gangsters of the animal kingdom. They look for magpies who have just recently laid eggs and take an egg out of the nest and replace it with one of their own. The magpies are forced to take care of the cuckoo chick, which eats far more than the rest of the chicks combined, so much so that the other chicks simply starve to death. The book depicted the cuckoo chick as a grotesque monster, half of its body taken up by an eternally gaping mouth, screaming at the poor magpies. I hated that picture. I used to think cuckoo chicks were the most evil and despicable creatures on earth. But how is that the chick's fault? It never asked to be laid in a nest too small for it. It never asked to have a voice that cried louder and longer than its brethren. It was dropped into a world that never expected it to exist, but instead of trying to make the nest bigger or giving its parents enough food for all the chicks, everyone just blamed it for having a body that couldn't fit into the nest it never asked for. God, why couldn't you have made me a magpie? Snip, 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 and slowly the vines began to dissolve. Some begin to creep away, retreating towards the attic door, and eventually the room is free of roses. Woof, okay, I guess that was everything. But I wonder, were there any of those keys in here? I can scan the room with my eyes. I notice a couple of books left lying on a side table, a dictionary, and a birdwatcher's field guide. A book of words and a book of birds. I feel like the universe is telling me something important. Should I look at one of these books? The Birdwatcher's Field Guide. Is there any bird I should look up? Nope. Cuckoo. Birds. I feel like I'm forgetting something important about birds. Oh yeah, I saw a picture of a crow with a tiny top hat last night. I have to remember it to my animals wearing people clothing file when I get home. Anyway, where's that key? What about magpie? Oh. I feel the lump of metal before I see it. A familiar bronze key is taped to the page, right on the top entry for magpie. 1 out of 3 keys found. It feels like the very air of the house shudders. Out of the corner of my eye, I think I see some vines undulating, but nothing happens. Getting a better look at the cluster of vines on the wall, I notice a lot of them are feeding into a door right off the reading room. Mrs. Flores' office. This was another room that Andrea mentioned, right? I don't really remember what Mr. Flores does. He's a specific doctor of some sort, has a title with a long, complicated name. There's no syringes or anything in his office, though. It's mostly papers and files. Papers and files. It must be a complicated job. There's some paintings on the wall, but they're mostly covered in vines right now. Within a smaller space, the smell of roses is growing overpowering. I gotta get going. From the... what is that, pink? That's affection. Yeah, I'll listen to it. I returned to her on the gray December afternoon. When the air was cold and biting, I enjoyed the winter, the days of the quilted skies and no sun. Time was passing, and her skin grew colder and colder. Would today be the day? But then, all of a sudden, the room was warm. I told you we'd be back. She didn't know what to say. After I was banished. Yep, but the little witch took my hand. Took her hand. Whatever. Okay, hang on. She led her downstairs and her grandmother fixed them a drink. Thick and creamy, flavored with cinnamon, horchata. Horchata's good shit, yo. And it warmed her stomach. The little witch asked about the things she liked. She listened to her like she was the most fascinating person in the world. She told her about school and monsters and learning to be a witch. And it warmed her chest. Somewhere, in another room, her parents and the little witch's grandmother were talking in low, solemn voices. Alright, hang on. The little witch asked her about the things she liked. Oh, okay, alright. But at that moment, the world was just her kitchen. The kitchen, and the little witch, and their warm drinks, and the pale white sky outside. Snip, snip, snip. I cut it loose. That one's red. Yet again, gonna be anger or passion. Let's listen. Ugh, a kitten's ribcage opened like a present on Bull Street. The head was perfectly intact and perfectly cute. Some Claude's Prius had turned everything from the neck down into a nightmare. Is it arrogant to think that people look at me the same way? An adorable tragedy? Every time Mom brings me somewhere, her friends smile at me like someone in the family just died. It's the most infuriating thing. It'd feel better if people were actually honest about how disgusting it was to look at me. Snip, 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 cut it loose. Blue is an impossible dream again. Do you know what I see when I look at you? I see a recluse. I'm sorry. The only time you ever leave your room is when you go to school, and you certainly aren't making any friends there. I'm sorry. I know your condition is hard to deal with, but God, if you could just try. I am trying. Why won't you say anything? Do you hate me that much? I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. People are talking. They probably think we mistreat you. Why can't you ever think about how this affects us? I'm sorry. Marisol, God, don't cry. I'm only telling you this because we want to help you. We don't know how you're feeling. We only know what we see. And in my eyes, you're the loneliest person I've ever known. And in my eye, that's the best thing I could be. Yellow. Friendship and dangers. Friendship and jealousy. I used to like it when you told me about your studies. It was all so interesting. You always blushed, saying your magic wasn't cool as the stuff I read about in books. But of course it was. Magic was magic. And your magic would only get more powerful when you got older. You were already so amazing. By the time you'd become an actual witch, and I understood. You have so much talent, you're so amazing. You're going to become a wonderful witch. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be alive in a few years. Maybe the monster will catch me off guard in a year and kill me. Maybe next week, maybe tomorrow. You have a future. I have a curse. If I was braver, I could have just told you. You didn't want to hear about that stuff anymore. Nope, blup. I could have just told you I didn't want to hear about that stuff anymore. Blah. But I didn't. Bittersweet was so much easier. I'm sorry, Alex. A supportive friend is all I can be, and I'm not even good at that. The vines curl into ash, and the roses retreat. 2 rooms down. Good job, me. Now let's see if there's any keys in here. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at the painting and the book on Mr. Flores' desk. Let's look at the book. The book says, what to do when your child breaks your heart. It looks like it's dog-eared. Let's look somewhere else. The paintings. There's a painting of a woman lying in a river, a painting of a wheat field, and a portrait he commissioned of Marisol. Which one should I look at? Why would I rethink my actions? Why is it like... Huh. Okay, so I can't... Okay. Let's look at the girl in the river. It's an older painting. The girl is surrounded by flowers, and her palms float to the surface in little cups. It seems dreamlike and peaceful, but it makes me feel uneasy for some reason. Is there something off about this painting? I mean, yeah, her face, but... Let's look at the other ones. Let's look at the field. A murder of crows flies overhead. This looks like... It's very pretty. The texture of the paint is interesting. It makes it feel like the painting is moving before my eyes. But somehow, it seems ominous. Is there something off about this painting? Not really. Let's look at the portrait. It's a portrait he commissioned for Marisol's 18th birthday. It's kind of a weird style compared to the other paintings, but at least the artist captured Marisol's hair. Her eyes, rather. Her eye stares directly at the viewer. I always did think your gaze was intense. Is there something off about this painting? Huh. I don't know. Let's look at the girl in the river again. Her face. Her hands. They seem lifeless. The flowers. There's rosemary, that's for remembrance, and there's pansies, that's for thoughts. M for murder. And waiting for Godot. Billy Crystal. Note to self, joking plus nervous just equals bad jokes. Okay. I guess I'm supposed to look at all of the paintings. Her shirt. Slightly oversized white button-down dress shirt. I mean, you can't really see it, but I assume that's what she's wearing. That's almost always what she's wearing if she doesn't have to go out. I assume for the portrait they actually got her to wear pants with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally a fan of her not wearing pants. I mean, I don't mind, like, it's her house. She can go without pants if she wants to. I don't even remember where I was going with this. It's a button down. She looks great in it, as always. Her eye. Two out of 3 keys found. Okay. I can't believe I overlooked that. It would have been so embarrassing if I missed that one. The bathroom is pitch black when I arrive. Vines are leading into it, but I don't smell roses. I smell something like meat. Turn on the light. Okay. Woof. Well, gang, I must say I'm not a fan of anything that's happening in this room. But clearing the bathroom is always the worst chore, am I right? Tough crowd. Well, do roses not have a sense of humor? Oh, we have great senses of humor. You just aren't very funny. Okay, great. Awesome. So let's just get to it. From the head of the corpse sprouts a single red rose. I don't like that there's a corpse in here. Let's listen to it, I guess. I liked going on walks with my parents. Those were some of the better times. In the summer, where we could see the yellow flicker of fireflies in the evenings. In the autumns, when the sky was pale and the air was cool. Those walks made me feel like I was a normal person. I don't want you wearing those shorts. What? They're so long. Of course I knew that. I liked them because they were long. As far back as I can remember, I hated my big, thick thighs. It was such a relief when I saw that the gym shorts they gave us at school almost fell to my knee. You really shouldn't be wearing shorts like those. What does it matter that they're long? You're a young lady. Mom, what are you talking about? You're making me look... They make you look like a woman who likes other women. God damn. Oh. Okay. I'll walk back to my room and dug out the tiniest, most awkward pair of shorts I owned. I hadn't worn them since last year. Every second of every minute of that walk, I felt my legs being squeezed like meat. But at least I didn't look like a woman who likes other women. I only go on walks by myself now. Wow. Friendship and jealousy. Single yellow roses on the toilet. Why is there a double toilet? What is that? Why don't I know what that is? Like, there's a toilet here, and then next to the toilet is another bowl. Maybe? Ah, man. I don't know what that is. Is that like a bidet or some shit? I have no idea. I've never been in a fancy bathroom before. Anyway, back to the yellow rose. You with your soft, fluffy hair. You with your cute little cartoon character eyes. You with your long, slender legs and your curvy chest and your perfect, sleek little waist. You turned to me and said, "Do I look fat in this? Alex, I love you, but sometimes I swear I could just smack you." That does it. I throw my shears down on the floor. If it's so damn awful being my friend, then I'll save you the fucking trouble. Oh no. I start the long walk home as raindrops begin to pepper my head. I try to ignore the tears. I don't look back once. Oh no! I'm not a fan of that! I listened to too many of the yellow ones. I guess it said too many of them is dangerous. Dang it. Dang it. Alright. Well, now I have to play this game again. But you all aren't going to be here with me for this. Just because I'm just gonna finish playing it alone. It's been like 37 minutes. This game is... I like this game, actually. I don't know what to say about it other than it's good so far. But yeah, this has been Pepper, and this has been us lovely corpses. I was not expecting the main character to just walk out of there, but I guess she has feelings too, you know? Alright, peace y'all. I hope you have a good day.